This is the worst thing to ever happen to Gibson. It's a guitar that's only $499 and is absolutely incredible. Once upon a time, before the internet and before CNC, quality guitars meant expensive. And guess what? Those days are like Game of Thrones. They are over. And Gibson is still stuck in the middle of season 8. It is a bad time to be a manufacturer of expensive museum pieces masquerading as guitars. Look, I get it. Legacy branding. We're the cool brand. We have a history. Rock music was built with our instruments. And if you buy one of these, you'll be the envy of all the other 50-something dads who gave up on their dreams of superstardom and settled into the boring monotony of suburban life. But hey, you can still feel like a rock star by playing one of these. That is, if your wife lets you, after she makes you take out the garbage. Oh yeah, and that better be on headphones too, because you're not allowed to play through a real amp anymore. Maybe if you're really lucky, one day she might give you your balls back.
Well, that's never a problem for me. I'm married to you, sweetie.
I am absolutely in love with what we can get for entry-level guitars these days. When I was your age, seriously though, when I was a teenager back in the 80s, cheap guitars meant brands like Hondo, Vantage, and Cort. Now, two of those companies vanished faster than $500 million into a Hyperloop project, but Cort went on to make some truly phenomenal guitars these days. And we do have some truly great choices when it comes to quality for under $500. A couple weeks ago, I reviewed the S by Solar V, and at only $299, it's nothing short of spectacular. And one of my all-time favorite guitars is this Harley Benton Goto. At $269, it's really hard to beat. And one of the other brands I love working with is Schecter, mainly because they are rock solid for tracking in the studio. I got to do a session with a red Schecter Tempest back in 2006, and I was so impressed. That night, I called every Guitar Center in the Detroit area looking for one. And instead of a Tempest, I found this, a Hellraiser in Canton, Michigan. Oh yeah, here's a point worth mentioning. Never do what I did, and that's go into a Guitar Center 2 days before Christmas, because it sounds something like this. I feel so bad for the people who have to work at Guitar Center during the holidays. I could barely tolerate it for half an hour. I can't imagine how awful it would be to have to listen to that shit all day long. So guys, seriously, if you must shop at Guitar Center, please treat the staff nicely because they have to put up with an awful lot. Now, after playing so many Schecters, the Hellraiser, the V, the Don't Call It a Strat, it's obvious they know how to build great guitars, but what about the entry level? Can they rival Harley Benton, the S by Solar? What can Schecter make for under $500? Let's take a look and see what they can really do. The guitar is out of the box, and oh yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. Look at that paint. So of course the big question is, does it sound as good as it looks? And the answer is, well, of course it does. I'm running a Bad Cat amp into some Mojotone speakers. We're gonna have more on that in a minute. Okay. I gotta stop while I'm ahead. Noticing the guitar just sliding down the leg a little bit. Gonna have to get a little skateboard tape or a strap or something like that on in a minute. But I gotta admit, I am on a rather big rush kick at the moment. I'm currently going through Geddy Lee's biography, My Effin' Life. I'm going through the audiobook, and it's narrated by Geddy. and it is absolutely spectacular. So I've been breaking out the Rush over the last couple weeks, checking out a couple of the tracks, and it's kind of interesting to listen to them from his perspective. And he shares a lot of his ideas and whatnot. And I think the most profound thing he says is this: all you prog metal fans should really pay attention to what the man has to say. He's got something rather profound, and he says this: if you've got 3 influences, you're derivative. But if you've got 100 influences, then you're original. So all you guys who are in a Periphery and Meshuggah, take note of that. Some good advice in there. By the way, guys, I just want to thank everybody for coming on board and hitting the subscribe button. In the last month, we've gone from 60% of the viewers not being subscribed to 56%. Now that still means that more than half of you who enjoy my content haven't bothered to subscribe. So if you haven't hit the button, please do. It's not like it costs you anything, and it will help me make better videos to keep you entertained.
Subscribe? Why? You didn't even work with the right Queensryche.
Anyway, okay, so cleans, yeah. I always get the, Glenn, you never do enough cleans, and it's like, yeah, because I'm not a clean player. It's like you guys never go on to, I don't know, RJ Ronquilla's show and say, RJ, how come you never play any Meshuggah? It's just, come on, guys, it's a metal show. So, okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, we'll call that one Flounder by Night. Clean channel's not really my thing, but hey, whatever. There you go. That's Clean Through a Bad Cat. It's not bad. Definitely does the clean thing. So no complaints there at all. Edge of Breakup, again, not really my bag, baby, but, I have been practicing. I don't know if this is going to translate on camera or not. We'll see what happens. All right, still working on that one. That one needs a little bit of work. I'll get it eventually. Again, suggested listening would be Pink Floyd live at Pompeii. Listen to Echoes. Wow, is that ever a mind-blowing performance? No auto-tune, no time alignment, no nothing. Just a bunch of talented dudes playing their asses off. Boy, I miss when music was really great like that. Anyway, now I gotta say, this guitar is just so much fun to play. They did such a beautiful job on the setup. You just don't want to stop playing this thing. I mean, it's just so much fun. Okay, I'm still working on the rest of that lead, but yeah, you get it. This guitar, you can just play it so expressively. Just too much fun. But yeah, it definitely delivers the goods as far as the heavies are concerned. Yeah, this thing plays like butter. But what's it all about? Let's hit the specs. Hey guys, today's non-vintage 30 tone is brought to you by Mojo Tone. Now today I'm running the Slammons 2x12 loaded with something new on the channel, the Watchtower. So what is it? It's a real UK-made Celestian greenback rebadged with the Mojo Tone logo. Why in the world would I be using that instead of a Celestian labeled one? Simple. It's $35 less per speaker. If you're living in the US, the average greenback's gonna cost you $165. However, the Watchtower is only $129.99, and that's for exactly the same speaker. If you're loading up a 4x12 with a quartet of these, that's a savings of $140. I don't know about you, but I love the idea of hanging on to $140. Take it from the guy who used to build Chrysler minivans and Volkswagen Routons on the same assembly line. Remember guys, we're allowed to use speakers that aren't finished 30s in metal to find our own sound. The cool thing is Mototone has a whole bunch of cool speakers to choose from, like the BV25M, which is another great metal machine, and the brand new BV60M, a low-weight neodymium magnet speaker that I'll be demoing on the show real soon. Mototone is crushing it not only in terms of unique design, but in price as well, because they're usually more affordable than the alternatives out there. And that makes great sense as a serious option for the guitar player looking to stand out from the crowd in a world of sound-alikes. Go check them out at mototone.com. Link is in the description below. Now let's get back to the Schecter. All right, let's give this guitar the Spectre sound 5-star breakdown. Now for packaging, gotta give it 5 stars. This one came with one of these beautiful hard shell cases. Not sure if you're gonna get that with the $499 ones, but damn, these cases are really something else. Components, 3 stars. Now, price has to be a consideration with guitars like this, I understand that. However, some locking tuners would have been a nice touch. Now the pickups do indeed do the humbucker thing just like any other humbucker, and they do seem to have some pretty serious output. And I like that the pickups have a transparent cover so you can see the copper windings. Visually, that's really cool, but unless the copper you're using was forged in the fires of a star like Vega or Altair, it's gonna do exactly the same thing that all other copper wire does. No, your pickups are not special, there's no magic, and no, they do not sound unique. Now, can we please collectively shut the fuck up about pickups? The addition of a Graphtec Tusk nut is awesome though. It makes for far more stable tuning, and if you're a beginner guitar player, constant retuning is something you're not gonna have to worry about. All right, so we threw a strap on, and let's give this thing a neck dive test. Now, unfortunately, this model does seem to be slightly neck heavy, but that might be just this guitar in particular. If you check out the Sweetwater page, there is a difference in weight from guitar to guitar, as much as by a whole pound. Personally, I'd get the heavier one. It might be slightly better balanced. Now, keep in mind, this is not a problem if you're playing with a strap or you're sitting in classical position, but if you're sitting down with your guitar on your right leg like this, it is gonna droop. So having a strap handy will help, but you better get used to the idea of playing in classical position with this one. Otherwise, you're gonna be struggling to keep the neck in proper position. Now for setup, 5 stars. This guitar plays great right out of the box, and most importantly, it is fun to play. The action is great, the intonation is great. Somebody needs to buy the guys in the Schecter setup department a round of beers because they absolutely killed it on this one. Well done, guys. Fit and finish, 5 stars. I've got no complaints anywhere with this guitar. The fret ends are nice and smooth and there's nothing poking out, and I can't find any dings, scratches, or flaws anywhere in the finish. And the transparent blue top is just plain gorgeous. Oh, if only Gibson could build guitars this nice. So my overall rating here is 4.6 stars out of 5. At $499, this one is really hard to beat. My final judgment is double brutal. If you are a beginner or if you're an intermediate, if you're a touring musician and you don't want to take the risk of having an expensive guitar damaged or stolen while on the road, and most importantly, if you don't have your head up your ass thinking an expensive guitar is going to give you some kind of sonic advantage, this guitar is just plain awesome. Now, of course, the uppity tone snobs over the Guitar Collectors Country Club might mock you, but those opinions only mean something as long as you let them mean something. My advice, just do what I do and say, fuck those guys.
What do you mean? Mummy says my opinion matters.
Hey guys, I'm so blown away by this guitar. I'm thinking, you know what? I can't keep it though. I don't have enough space and somebody out there could probably really use this. So do me a favor and sign up for my raffle. Basically, all you got to do is sign up for some of my socials like my Instagram and subscribe to the channel. I really need your help on that. By the way, I'm trying to build this thing and I really need you to make that happen. So yeah, sign up for that. And one of you guys somewhere out in the world will win this and I'll be more than happy to ship it to you. We've been seeing a lot of killer affordable guitars coming down the pipe in the last year or two. Harley Benton's Goto series, the S by Solar, and now Schecter pushes the limits of what you can do for under $500 with this Omen Elite. There's far more beginners than there are advanced players, and the company that can build something awesome for under $500 is going to win big in the long run. Because let's face it, there are only so many doctors and lawyers in the world. Everyone else probably doesn't have thousands to spend on a high-end guitar because they're struggling just to pay rent these days. But that doesn't mean they don't work hard. Some of the hardest jobs in the world pay terrible wages. And I think the people who do those jobs deserve something decent for their money. This is a fantastic option. Because let's face it, any idiot can build a great guitar for a lot of money. Okay, almost any idiot.
Nobody cares about how it sounds. It's about what it's worth.